Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Golem MF, Michael Fletcher, alongside the guys Anthony Floria and Michael Bullock. I'm gonna make a special request for you boys, if that's okay. I would like to do a rapid fire on the wrestling portion of the show, and we might be able to get a little bit away and maybe go more into the details on the two football games that we're going to cover here tonight. But just to try to crunch everything in because I'm gonna try to want to get this done in an hour. That's I feel is the best way to do this. So, with that said, we're gonna start off with NXT. We're gonna go rapid fire on this one, guys. So get ready. Heads up, it's coming your way hot and heavy. As we had the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz versus Gallus, Wolfgang, and Mark Coffey and Hank Ledger and Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, six-man tag, triple threat tag team fight, and it was the Rascals winning the match in 10 minutes and 58 seconds. Solid triple threat fight. I'll give this about 3.5 stars. Anthony, what says you?
3.25, 3.5. The opening felt a little unnecessary as the main event already had heat. It certainly set a tone for a chaotic night to come. This match was good, especially thanks to the energy of the Rascals and Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank have grown into one of NXT's most interesting tag teams. It's important they not lose steam after this. Rascals got a much-deserved win to set up an exciting NXT tag team championship match next week. It should be high-octane and hopefully eclipse the previous Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus MSK battle. It is likely Wes Lee will ruin the Rascals' night, but this story is a strong foundation for the NXT TNA partnership that is shining through right now. 3.25, teetering on 3.5 stars. Michael Bullock, rapid fire, baby.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5 here. I mean, nice win for the Rascals here. Now they get a shot at the titles here. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, this one's on the fence. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this. Lexis King versus Oro Mensa. Lexis King winning in 4:47. What says you guys?
Move on.
All right.
Cut out
Very
short
well.
matches. Cut out short matches.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering where that line was, so I didn't know where you wanted to go with that. All right. This one is a short match, though. It was Tatum Paxley versus Rosemary. Tatum Paxley winning in 3:45. After the match, though, there was a beatdown. Wendy Chu and Rosemary started beating up on Tatum Paxley. Lo and behold, here comes Lara Valkyria. The Valkyrie is back in NXT, much to the delight of Michael Bullock. I know how much he's like, God, do I miss you? So we don't even talk about the match, but we gotta at least talk about Lara Valkyria returning.
Yes, we do.
What a surprise!
Pairing back up Tatum Paxley and Lara Valkyria is the right move. The two never got a chance to run well together, and they have main roster tag team upside. What says you, Bullock?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think having her back in NXT, and yeah, she never really got a chance to really pair up a lot with Tatum Paxley, so we'll see what happens with this. So let's move on, Fletch.
And I love the fact that Lara Valkyria is still playing that role of like, look, look, I'm keeping you at arm's length. You are my friend, but not like that. Just like, I'm glad to help. I'll be there to help you whenever you need it. But you kind of got me in trouble over on Raw. I don't have that many friends, so I mean, you're welcome for the help. You're welcome. I kind of laugh, but I get it. I mean, Tatum can be a lot of things.
She's out there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to put it nicely, but Bullock kind of said it for me. All right, next up we had, after all this, because we had a really good segment. All right, so after this we had, let me see, am I going wrong? Nope. Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. Double count out. 11 minutes and 19 seconds. Anthony Florio. Oh, what a fight, but no.
I know. It was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. A non-finish in a feud this intense is disappointing, but promises that a more definitive result will happen with a stipulation down the line. This rivalry has most certainly not overstayed its welcome. It is making Trick a more engaging performer while elevating his already substantial standing in NXT. When he finally wins, he will feel earned. The match was good, but the best is going to come with the main event spotlight and a stipulation that will not get in the way of the brawl. General Manager Ava spoke. And gentlemen, next week on NXT Tuesday night, Trick Williams, Pete Dunne, last man standing.
Oh my freaking word.
And as if that wasn't big enough, the winner of that match will go on to be the next challenger for All Ego Ethan Page and the NXT Championship on the NXT CW premiere October 1 in the IWC, capital of the world, Chicago. You imagine if Trick wins that match? Can you imagine that Chicago crowd doing the whoop that Trick?
Oh, man. And there's also a match that already got confirmed for that Chicago show, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes, Ethan Page will defend the NXT Championship against the winner of the Trick and Dunne Last Man Standing on that premiere episode on the CW, October 1. Michael Bullock, yo, Mr. NXT. You got to have some serious thoughts about that. 3.5 stars for the match, though. Fight of the night.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, it was disappointing. It did end in a double count out, but oh no, we're not getting that next week. These two in a last man standing match, and the winner faces All Ego Ethan Page on the premiere of NXT on the CW in Chicago. Man, I mean, all I could say is for All Ego Ethan Page, you're going to be walking into enemy territory, because if Trick Williams wins, there's going to be a lot of fans with that whoop that Trick chant all throughout. And of course, we all know who else will be saying it.
CM Punk.
No. Oh, no. I'm talking about Mr. Booker T.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I like it.
Yeah. So there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, no, not only that, but also CM Punk is going to be in the building. Remember, CM Punk's going to be there as well. So, yeah, this is going to be a big deal. This is going to be pretty big. So, yeah, 3.5 stars, absolutely correct rating, and really nothing more to add. Like I said, we're going to try to go rapid fire on this one. Next up, we had was Javon Evans versus Joe Coffey. Javon Evans, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. That led us to the main. Nope. Then we had Oral Mens, Obafemi versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Obafemi in 4:34. Then it led us to the main event of the evening. That was Jada Parker versus Jasmine Nix. Jada Parker in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Then after that, basically, no, it wasn't Lau Valkyria. It was Roxanne Perez cutting a promo. Then came out was Chelsea Green, but got interrupted by Julia, and Julia said 3 words that got everybody talking. You, me, CW. October 1, Chicago. NXT Women's title fight. Can you say new champion?
Yeet.
Yeet.
That's all I need to say, y'all. So, Michael Bullock, you lead off on the overall review.
Yeah, somewhat of a little bit of a disappointing show. I mean, you did have some good things, but there were way too many short matches. I could give this in excess of maybe 5.5 to 6, if I'm going to be honest here. But oh man, Fletch, I mean, Julia against Roxanne Perez for for the NXT Women's Title in Chicago.
Fight of the Year candidate for the women's. For the women, this could be Fight of the Year.
Exactly, and like you said, Fletch, I think this is where Roxanne's run comes to an end. No
You would
doubt
think.
about it.
You would think.
Exactly, because I'll tell you this right now: if Roxanne Perez retains, there's going to be a lot of upset people because you just brought in one of the most highly sought after free agents in a long time in Julia, because you know more about her than me and Florio do.
Yep.
And all the hype surrounding around her. And somehow you would have her lose, that would not sit well with a lot of people. They would
Well,
literally be.
the only reason why that I would be okay with it is because there's also another big name that's coming down the pipeline.
Oh,
And that
no. Oh,
no,
I get it with. I'm the
yeah.
same too. I'm just thinking the IWC will go.
Well, they'll go.
ballistic
Yeah,
and
they'll
not in a
go.
good way.
No, they'll react negatively. But the thing is that if it's not Julia, there's still two other big names that is coming down the pipeline that hasn't even shown up yet. We're talking about Stephanie Valcourt representing Mexico and Delta. That's from Australia. That's from New Zealand, not Australia. New Zealand. She hasn't even shown up yet, and there hasn't been no buzz about her either. And just as good as Julia is, we already saw Stephanie Valcourt because she already had a little. We had a little taste of her when WWE went down to Mexico and she wrestled those 2 matches. I already saw the body of work of her. She is legit. And Delta, I haven't heard anything about her, but I can tell you from a couple of people that I know who's been following IWC outside of US, they said Delta is unbelievable. So yeah, you want to test Roxanne Perez. You want to be the prodigy, sweetheart. You're going to have a pipeline of women that's coming your way. If you beat Julia, congratulations. But there's 2 other women that is waiting, sitting for the opportunity to come after you.
Yeah, seething with the opportunity to come after you in the title.
So if Julia loses, you still got Stephanie Valcourt, you still got Delta. Now, if Roxanne beats all of them, then you can say, without a doubt, then she can say she's the greatest ever. And I think that's why they want to test her, because she cleared out the locker room. All right, here comes 3 coming at you. What do you do under those circumstances?
Well, she better back up those words, Fletch, because if she
so far she has.
Well,
I mean, so far she has. You can't deny it. She has. She's backed it up.
I agree with that. But if she really wants to lay claim with what she has or what she wants to be, she's got to go through Julia. She's got to go through Stephanie. And then she's got to go through Delta. If she goes through those 3, then the 3
then
of
you're
us will
eating your words.
The 3 of us will have to eat that slice of humble pie.
What do you mean 3? What do you mean 3? I haven't said any garbage about her. What are you talking about?
I haven't either.
What are you talking about?
Did I ever?
You kind of was thinking that Roxanne was dead to rights. You had.
Well, maybe I've had, but she has a chance to prove me wrong.
Keep your words soft and sweet, Bullet, because you may have to eat them.
Well, she's got to keep her words soft and sweet as well, because remember what she said on Instagram weeks ago after one of her title defenses.
Well,
if Julia beats her in Chicago,
which a lot of people believe it will, but we'll see.
Then those words are going to come back to bite her.
Yeah, true.
So 5.5 to 6 for me. It's yours, Fletch.
5.5. Anthony, go.
5.5 to 6. And let me say it like this quickly about Roxanne and Julia. It's a money match that will likely guarantee a sold-out show in Chicago. It is likely the arriving star will win, giving Roxanne a perfect opening to head to the main roster with a worthy champion at the head of NXT. And the presentation of Julia was much stronger for her second entrance, avoiding the overwhelming smoke from No Mercy. And then from there, overall, 5.5 to 6. NXT did not do much to inspire excitement with the in-ring action, but certainly over-delivered on match build-up. Night of quick, easy clashes that set up a stacked lineup for next week, while starting to set the expectation for NXT on the CW. Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne was good, but clearly held back for the great bout to come next week. Rascals showed out in a strong triple threat with Hank Walker and Tank Ledger and Gallus. Again, it set the stage for something stronger next week, battling Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the tag team titles. Rest of the show was forgettable action, but set the stage for contests, including Charlie Dempsey and Javon Evans, and Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria versus Wendy Chu and Rosemary. It's hard to argue that the night was not successful, even if the better show was a week away. It was a night of fallout that immediately pushed forward. 5.5 to 6. AEW Dynamite. Let's go.
All right. We started out with Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, going one-on-one against Kyle Fletcher for the AEW Continental Championship. Winner of the bout, 19 minutes and 25 seconds, was Okada. This was easily 3.5 to 4 stars. You could even make an argument for 4 to 4.25. I wouldn't be mad at you with that. Great matchup, good battle. Okada wins, no big surprise. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Fight of the night, easily. 4 to 4.25. And you know, there's these two are similar in size and skill, so experience was the big difference maker. Fletcher's is already an accomplished star, but Okada has several years on him. They kept a steady pace and made each spot count, but there were moments when it felt like they could have used a bit more urgency. They upped the intensity as they went, but Okada resorted to a low blow to get a cheap win. 4 to 4.25 stars. Fight of the night for me. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 4.25 for me. Definitely the fight of the night. I mean, great matchup. I definitely enjoyed it. So nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Jamie Hayter versus Robin Renegade. Jamie Hayter winning in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Obviously, we will continue on with the show. Mariah May versus Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's title. Mariah May winning the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony, quick thought?
3.25. Nyla Rose gave her a competitive fight, and Mariah is used to having a small height and power advantage in matches. So it was interesting to see her as a physical underdog for once. And she got the win with the Storm Zero. So 3 to 3.25 for this. Sleeper fight of the night. So far more entertaining than it had any right to be. I'll sum it up with that. Bullock, it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3.25 for me as well. Yeah, this was far more entertaining than it had every right to be. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
3.25. Totally agree with everything you guys said. Next up we had was the AEW Trios champions, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. They went up against Will Ospreay, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy, and it was the champions winning the match in 19 minutes even. Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, I should say. It's yours.
Yeah, this was another solid match here. I'll give this about maybe another 4. I'll give this about 4 stars for this. I thought this was a solid match here. But yeah, I mean, nothing really more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
4 to 4.25 for me. Yeah, you could say second best fight of the night. This one was freaking awesome. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought the match was amazing. Really nothing more to add. Anthony Florio is yours.
Unsurprisingly, this was one of the best things we saw all night. All 6 of these men are celebrated workers for different reasons, so they all worked well together. Entertaining main event that saw Pac and the BCC pick up the win when Claudio pinned Kyle O'Reilly. The Elite tried to attack the BCC, but were driven off. And beforehand, a stipulation was added to. Well, actually, we'll get into that when we get into the All Outs. So So yeah, no question about it here. And another 4 to 4.25 star match. So overall review time. We actually have one last thing. And spoiler alert, they took it way too far, as far as I'm concerned.
If you want to talk about it, we can. It was Adam Hangman Page with Swerve Strickland. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna even be able to talk about this without a rant coming, and I really don't want to do a rant tonight.
That's a good point.
Like you said, if this was a regulation show, if we didn't have a lot of details, we probably would have gone more detail into this. But I totally agree. This was absolutely disgusting what we saw from AEW here tonight. They definitely went over the line and then some on this one. No need to go there. Anthony, let's get into overall review. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
I'll just sum it up like this. I mean, when it comes to this, what we saw at the end, that was way too far. That was totally out of bounds. I mean, they could have done this any other way, but Tony Khan and his crew needs to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, this was... It seems lately, Fletch, they've been going way too far with so many of these segments. Way too far.
I don't mind them pushing the envelope, but you got to be aware of what you're doing in those situations.
Yeah,
because not every single fan base is going to like it. Like I even know NXT told the line yesterday with a comment by Obafemi, and that triggered quite a few people the wrong way. So
well, I'll tell you this, Fletch. JD from NY is going to have a lot to say about that, and not so good things to Tony Khan.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
It was a good show. I'll give this about maybe 7.5. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, 7.5. Well, I'm good with that as well. So, Anthony, give me a quick thought, and then I'll set up for All Out.
All right, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Dynamite ended with a contract signing that ended up seeing Hangman burn down Swerve's childhood home he had just purchased this week. Not only was it one of Hangman's better promos, but it was one of the most interesting segments. This from a professional perspective. AEW has done because the company actually burned down a house to do it, even though personally it went too far. The emotion on Swerve's face was convincing. This is one of the best storylines in AEW, and this amount of effort has paid off. The show tonight was a solid episode for in-ring action, but it also made sure to spend enough time setting up All Out. The trios match, you can make an argument. Trios match, and Okada and Fletcher, they were the fight of the night. I can't put one over the other, but they both put on a performance. But Okada and Fletcher put on a performance worth seeing. So it's a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. So now we have a pay-per-view to talk about this Saturday night. Quick turnaround here. I wish they would let this breathe a little bit, but
yeah.
But Tony Khan being Vince McMahon 2.0, of course. So, all right, All Out. Let's go.
All right, here we go. First fight of the night. We got the International Championship on the line. Will Ospreay versus Pac. Will Ospreay should win the match. He just won the belt. There's no way that you take the belt off him right that quickly, that fast. Ospreay wins. Anthony, go.
Yeah, it's going to be Ospreay, no doubt about it. It's going to be a banger, though. That's the only thing I know. Winner and still AEW International Champion. It is the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. Bullock, make it unanimous.
Yeah, Will Ospreay wins and retains the title. Let's move on, Fletch.
Anthony, you got this next one. Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander for the CMLL Women's World Title in a Chicago street fight.
Very tough to call. I mean, I could see Willow retaining. I mean, I would not at all be surprised if she came out of that still the champion. But don't be surprised if Chris steals it. And given the creative possibilities for the use of weapons throughout, this one could be a sleeper hit for one of the best fights of the night. With Nightingale winning at All In to get the stipulation, the match itself could be her downfall, depending on whether or not she has any backup to neutralize Stokely Hathaway. While many matches seem predictable on this card, this one could go either way. But you know what? I want to take a chance here. Winner and new CMLL Women's Champion, Chris Statlander. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chris Statlander wins and becomes the CMLL Women's Champion, and I think Stokely Hathaway is gonna be the difference here. So it's your Fletch.
Agreed. I got Stats winning the title too. So we'll move on. Here's that fight that you were talking about. Steel cage, lights out. Swerve Strickland versus Adam Hangman Page. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
And we can say now, Fletch, after what we saw tonight, this is gonna be more than just a steel cage match.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fight that this is not going to be your typical wrestling match. You're going to see a lot of blood. You're going to see. I'll say right here and now, boys. I'll be surprised if either one of them come out of this match without injury, especially with what we. I mean, Hangman Page made this whole thing personal now after his despicable actions tonight. It's tough to call, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Swerve Strickland to win. So, Fletch, this match is way beyond personal now.
It's way beyond personal, but the thing is that the last salvo that was created tonight with Paige burning down the childhood house of of Swerve Strickland, that's the point of no return. That you cannot come back from that and think that you're going to win the match on Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I'm not going there. I got Swerve Strickland winning. Anthony, it's yours.
While traditionally cage matches are designed to keep people out because someone always gets involved, this one might be different. Hangman made it very clear that Swerve has never beaten him without assistance, looking to prove he really is the better man. Strickland wins this one in the most decisive victory of their feud, making it clear that he can get the job done. And he's damn sure got some motivation after what happened at the end of tonight's show. So that would nothing more to say except that was a dead giveaway. They most assuredly gave away the outcome of this match. So
I agree.
And I even heard a rumor saying that this might be the main event of All Out. That's just a rumor now. Take it, as we always say, read into that what you will. But there's a rumor going around saying that this match could be the closer.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see.
If it is, then we'll get into it. If it's not, then we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
There will be a review coming, but yes, it's Swerve for me. So let's move on.
MJF going one-on-one with Daniel Garcia. I don't know. I kind of feel MJF. I think he's gonna sneak his way and steal this fight. I don't know why. I just got that feeling. Anthony Florio, it's yours. Even though I think Daniel Garcia should win it, and especially after what happened tonight, but I don't know.
With MJF suffering a major loss at All In and looking to build momentum to another big match, maybe the World Heavyweight Championship, he is likely to emerge the victor in this match. MJF will attempt his usual underhanded tactics that Daniel Garcia will likely continually thwart, but ultimately MJF will be the winner in this one. So yes, I agree. MJF wins the match. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, MJF wins this one as well. So it's yours, Fletch. Fletch, you there?
I don't know if MF might have stepped away. Very possible he may have had to step away for a minute. We are awaiting MF's presence here, so we'll await him. We'll wait him to return so we can continue on with this accordingly. So
yeah, I mean we'll definitely wait on him to see when he comes back. But while we have a moment, Florio,
yeah,
I mean, what are your quick thoughts on that ending segment while we wait for him?
Oh, they went way too far. I don't care if that's his actual house or not. I mean, I'm all for making feuds and rivalries, heat them up, heat them up, give them intensity and all that. I'm all for that, but the way they went about it, they could have gone a different way. And as far as I'm concerned, they went way too far on it. And from a professional standpoint, cinema, absolute cinema. And it served its purpose. If that match didn't need any more heat or intensity, well, they took it up. They took it up more than a notch tonight. They took it tenfold here tonight, sky high. And
all right, he's back. So
okay, MF is back in. Okay, very good.
So let's move on, Fletch.
Next match.
All
right. Next match indeed. All right. Sorry, I just had to take care of something that was personal, so that's why I had to step away for a second. All right. Next up, we had is Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida for the TBS title. Camille has been banned from the arena. Unfortunately, I kind of feel like this is going to be Mercedes Moné. It doesn't really I thought Britt Baker was going to be the one to win it. Shame on us for thinking otherwise, but Shida's not going to do it. Not now. I feel like Mercedes is gonna hold on to the belt for a little while longer. I kind of feel like she's about to have a big run with this title. So Mercedes Moné wins it. Anthony, it's yours.
While likely to be a great match, it's unlikely that Moné will be losing this one. With little build heading into the show, well, going into this, I was gonna say with Camille remaining a presence on the outside, but no, obviously that's not going to happen now after that ruling by Christopher Daniels. But Camille or no Camille, this will be another victory to keep the CEO's reign as TBS champion going for a little bit longer. So winner and still the TBS champion, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, Michael Bullock.
Yeah, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, will retain the TBS championship. So let's move on, Fletch.
3 more matches we got to cover. Okada is going to be in a fatal 4-way for the Continental Championship. However, we do not know who his opponents are yet. They will be, I guess, TBD.
I can help you out with this, MF.
All right.
It was announced earlier tonight that this Friday night on Collision, we're going to have what's called 3 Continental Contender matches. And in no particular order, it's going to be Orange Cassidy squaring off against Brian Keith. I think Orange Cassidy will win that one. Get him into that match. Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, will be squaring off against the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Mark Briscoe. There's a be a man fight for you right there, MF. I got to go with Briscoe. I got to go with Mark Briscoe to win that one. And then the other one, Konosuke Takeshita, will be squaring off against the Beast Mortos. And based on on the interaction that we saw earlier this evening, I'm going to take a chance and say Takeshita will win that match. So I think it's going to be Okada versus Cassidy versus Briscoe versus Takeshita for that Continental Championship. And I got to go with Okada. It doesn't matter who gets into that match. I think Okada is still going to walk away with it. So, not much more to say here. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on all that, on this Continental?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who the challengers are going to be. Okada's going to win and retain the title. So it's yours, Fletch.
I'm totally in agreement with you guys. I kind of feel like that's probably going to be the outcome as well. There's really nothing more to add on that one. 2 matches left. The AEW tag team titles on the line. Michael Bullock, you lead off as it's Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli versus the Young Bucks.
Young Bucks retain the title. They're probably going to use their executive powers to somehow retain. So Young Bucks win. It's yours, Fletch.
I wouldn't be surprised if the EVPs do abuse the power, as Michael Bullock alluded to. Yes, I do have the Young Bucks winning as well and successfully defending the titles. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna have to be the Young Bucks. Even though, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I really would love to see Claudio and Wheeler get the titles and bring
Yes.
even more gold to the BCC, but I don't see that happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna have to be the Young Bucks in this case. So main event time.
Main event: Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry for the AEW Championship. Bryan Danielson, he just won the belt. There's no way he's losing the belt right away. That's not like Jack Perry's not the guy that's gonna upend him eventually. I already told you who I think it's gonna be. I just feel like this is not gonna be the moment right now. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, winner of the bout and still the AEW World Champion, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Anthony, it's yours.
There is no way that Bryan Danielson is losing the AEW World Championship. Not just north of 2 weeks after winning it, especially not to Michael Bullock's least favorite wrestler right now, Jack Perry.
Yeah.
With Bryan Danielson stating that when he loses the title, his full-time career will be over. Ric Flair, woo! You know where that's heading. You know where that's heading. So, pulling the Ric Flair a la WrestleMania 24. There are still a few more matches to get through before the American Dragon takes its final flight. I would not be surprised if there's interference, but I still believe, interference or not, this one is virtually a lock for Danielson to win. So winner and still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Bryan Danielson. Yes, 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 Michael Bullock?
Yes, 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 indeed. Bryan Danielson retains the title. There's no way he's going to lose it just 2 weeks after winning it, especially to that scumbag Jack Perry that I can't stand. I mean, one of the most shall we say, not so nicest people on this planet as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's yours, Fletch. So now let's get into something we're looking forward to tomorrow night. The return of the NFL.
Well, Michael Bullock kind of stole all my thunder on it, but yes, it is indeed going to happen. Opening night of the National Football League, and here we go, guys. We started off with a banger, a rematch of the AFC Championship game that went down this past January. It was the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs, but at that day, the game was in Baltimore. This time, we're in Kansas City. The banner's going up. It's going to be an 8:20 kickoff, simulcast, NBC, Peacock. And for all you friends who's got the SAP, you can watch the game on NBC Universal. Kansas City, a 3-point favorite. Series record is 8-5 advantage Kansas City. Of course, the last time these two teams faced off against each other, Kansas City won the AFC Championship 17-10 over the Baltimore Ravens. I will go. You know what? I'll do this. Last year, the Ravens offense was the number 6 overall, the top rushing offense in the NFL, 21st in the pass, and the 4th top scoring. Kansas City offense was the 9th top offense in the NFL, 19th in the rush, 16th in the pass, 15th in scoring. Defensively, the Ravens were the number 6 overall defense, 14th against the rush, number 6 against the pass, and the least scoring defense in the NFL. They ranked number 1. So that means their defense was good. Kansas City's defense was 9th overall in the NFL last year, 19th against the rush, 6th against the pass, and 15th in total scoring. The plus minus on turnover ratios, the Ravens were a plus 12, the Kansas City Chiefs minus 11. Players to watch: Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens won his 2nd NFL MVP last season, leading the league in yards and rushing for a quarterback with 821. while finishing fourth with a passer rating of 102.7. 7 yards, 7 yards per 8 yards per attempt. But the numbers, that's the most important. He's 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. The player to watch for Kansas City, Travis Kelce, who'll turn 35 next month, and at the age of which most players would long retire in his position, these were last moments. These were the moments last season which appeared where Kelce was slowing down a bit. But he still bested 93 catches for 984 yards, 5 touchdowns in 15 regular season games. Obviously, the key matchup is the battle of the quarterbacks. Key injuries right now. Tyler Labrum has a back injury and did not appear on the injury report, so he should be good to go. Hollywood Brown will not play after dislocating an injury in his shoulder against Jacksonville, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire was put on the will not be able to perform. He'll miss the first 4 games. But at the end of the day, once it comes down to everything in the stats and everything else, I do believe Kansas City will win the game. And you know what? I'll go 17-10 again. I think the Chiefs will win it by that margin. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, hit me with those stats like Jim Nantz would normally do.
Hello, friends. Yeah. First things first, MF. Most important thing to get out of the way. This is obviously our game of the week right here. So,
yeah,
what a way to start it off with a true Tony and Mikey special here. The two teams that many feel perhaps the odds-on favorites to two of the odds-on favorites to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 59 at the Superdome in New Orleans come next February 9, 5 months away. So, all right, now first things first. 3-point spread for Kansas City. You're right on that. Of course, it'll be Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, the home of the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. They start their quest for a three-peat, and overall it is 8-5. But in terms of regular season,
yes,
Kansas City leads that 7-4. They're 1-1 as far as the playoffs are concerned. Their last regular season meeting was 2021 in Baltimore. Baltimore won a wild one on a Sunday night, 36-35, a 5-star classic in Baltimore. Their last meeting in Kansas City was in 2019. Kansas City won that game 33-28. I believe we had that game as well, MF.
Yeah, I believe we did, yes.
And Baltimore's last win in Kansas City, 2012. And they won it in true good old MF fashion. It wasn't an Anthony Florio offensive shootout like the game in Baltimore in 2021, 36-35. When Baltimore last won in Kansas City in 2012, they did so by a final score that MF would be very proud of, 9-6. So, yeah. So that's the story on that one. Okay. It's an AFC Championship rematch and another head-to-head matchup between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs are 4-1 in those previous matchups. Will Derrick Henry help flip the script for Baltimore, or will the Chiefs march to a possible three-peat start in style? You may remember 1 year ago, Kansas City lost the Week 1 Thursday Night Football opener last season in a game defined by drop passes and an injured Travis Kelce on top of that. This one is cleaner, and Kansas City continues to one-up Baltimore in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs remember losing their home opener last season ahead of their successful Super Bowl title defense. They stumbled with some key personnel absences versus Detroit in Week 1 last year, but they look stronger than the team that repeated with a third consecutive ring well in sight. The Chiefs offense with two-time MVP Patrick Mahomes has a little more pop than the Ravens offense with two-time MVP Lamar Jackson, leading to a little more scoring in the September rematch of last January's AFC Championship game. I do agree with you, MF. I have the Kansas City Chiefs also winning this game. I think it's going to be a little more higher scoring than than the championship game in January. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins this one. I'm going to go 27-21. Kansas City defeats Baltimore and barely gets by Baltimore in what should be a very exciting game tomorrow night. I can't wait to get into it. Can't wait to bring back the Hello Friends, of course, and been looking forward to that. So 27-21 Kansas City. So Michael Bullock, Ravens and Chiefs, NFL season. Can't believe we're already here.
Yeah, AFC Championship rematch. This should be a really good match. Good way to start off the NFL season. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes going at each other again. And, I'm just going to make it a clean sweep here. I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win as well. There's no way they're losing this game on Banner Night. I mean, we were all shocked last year when the Detroit Lions went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs on their Banner Night. I don't see Kansas City losing 2 years in a row on Banner Night. So Kansas City wins. It's yours, Fletch.
Yes, indeed. And now we move on to one of the games that is most unique, to say the very least, from São Paulo, Brazil. We go to the NFC, the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles. Anthony Florio set it up the only way you know how, my friend.
Absolutely. All right. You could make the argument that this is the game of the week on the NFC side, although there's another game that I beg to differ could be just as much worthy of game of the week status, a game that goes down on Sunday night. So it's definitely one of those are definitely the top two, no question. Okay. Now, as far as this Packer Eagle game is concerned, MF said it best. We're gonna be making history. It's gonna be coming to us from the Corinthians Arena in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yeah, on a Friday night, no less. And this game will be exclusively on Peacock. But wait, pump the brakes. It's not going to be just exclusively on Peacock. First things first, it's going to be Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge. I wouldn't be surprised if Catherine Tappan joins them because I know Catherine Tappan works with them, a la the Big Ten Saturday night on NBC, of course. And according to our friends at 506, it's always so great to be back on that site, to get ready for this. Now it's unfortunately not loading. I don't know why, but it's not. So, all right, now I got it. Okay. For the people of Green Bay and Philadelphia, you can watch it on your respective NBC affiliates. But Green Bay is for the people of Wisconsin, you can watch it on one of two NBC affiliates. WGBA NBC 26 in Green Bay, or you can watch it on WTMJ NBC Channel 4 in Milwaukee, or as we call it, Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. And for the people of Philadelphia, or the Philadelph, as MF calls it, you can watch it on your NBC affiliate, which is WCAU NBC Channel 10. So that's where you'll find that on Friday night. Kickoff is at 8:15. Philadelphia is opening up as a 2-point favorite. And the series history, it favors Green Bay by a count of 27-16. Their last regular season meeting was in Philadelphia. In 2022, Philly won a wild one, a 5-star classic, 40-33 in Philly. Green Bay last beat Philly in 2020 in Green Bay, 30-16. So that's the story on that. Philly opening up as a 2-point favorite. Now, very tough to call here. Football in Brazil will be entertaining with a quarterback duel between Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, with new running backs Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. Saquon Barkley for Philadelphia, Josh Jacobs for Green Bay. On top of that, both teams have new defensive coordinators, NMF's old friend Vic Fangio and Jeff Hafley. The Packers could not stop the run last season. The Eagles couldn't stop the pass. Look for a shootout here. The Packers have great momentum at quarterback with Jordan Love's breakout season ending with his first playoff win, putting him on track to cash in with a lucrative offseason contract extension. The Eagles' offense slumped a bit with its identity, consistency, and big playability, which hurt any chances of a second straight deep NFC playoff run. Green Bay did its best to fix its defense again, but Philadelphia will restore its explosiveness around Jalen Hurts under Kellen Moore, allowing him to possibly outduel Love. Rio's carnival atmosphere will be rewarded with a points party. It's going to be a high-scoring game. There is no doubt about that. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am having a very, very, very hard time with this game. I have gone back and forth. And, push comes to shove. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is one of those flip of the coin type things, It's one of those, honestly. But the consensus is actually going with Philadelphia to win this game. And whenever I have a hard time, I usually go with the consensus. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Philadelphia to win this game. My final score, 30-27. Philadelphia defeats Green Bay. But would I be surprised if Green Bay won this game? Absolutely not. I would not. So, based on the consensus, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Philly to win this game, 30-27. It's going to be a fun-ass game. I can't wait. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, NFL football on a Friday night in Brazil. Wow. How about that?
Man, that's like you said, that's making history there. So, yeah, this is a tough one to call here, but I think at the end of the day, I got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, this team, I think is motivated because many people thought that they were going to get back to the Super Bowl last season, and it did not end well. And I think that, and I see them getting off on the right foot. Would I be surprised if Green Bay wins? No, I wouldn't be. But at the end of the day, I got to go with the Eagles. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this is such a tough game to call, but I gotta say Philly. I think it would be a tight game, but I feel like Philadelphia's offensively are just too explosive, man. But would I be shocked if Green Bay wins this? Absolutely not. So yeah, tight game, good matchup, but I do believe that that's how it's going to go. So guys, we are done for tonight. However, we will be back tomorrow for College Football Thursday. That's right, week number 2. And we got a big one, a top 10 battle right out of the gate. The Texas Longhorns, the Hook'em Horns, takes on the reigning, defending college football playoff national champion, the Michigan Wolverines. You want to talk about what could be a playoff preview? This might be it. So, Michigan, Texas, what a way to start it. And it's on high noon on Saturday. So that might be the first. Yeah, I was going to say, that might be the first game out of the gate we're going to be covering. So get ready, folks.
Show. We're going to have an Ass Backwards show tomorrow night. The main event's going to be leading it off.
Yep. So we're going to yeah, you know what? This is going to feel like a WrestleMania. Remember where the World Heavyweight title started at the show? And we're like, what the hell? Well, Here comes the what the hell. We're going to have our main event right out of the gate, folks. I hope you enjoy it. Get your popcorn ready early on. So nothing more to say.
What time?
Then that'll be at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Friday. Friday, folks, we're going to be doing, I believe this is our NFL. The NFL kickoff.
Yep.
So we're going to be recapping, obviously, depending on the time, We'll recap the Thursday night game. We'll probably, if there's time warranted, we might be able to recap the Friday night game from Brazil. And then obviously we'll be setting up the table for week 1 of the National Football League. Saturday, we're going to postpone Saturday because obviously All Out.
Yes.
It's happened on Saturday. So come back on Sunday. That's when we'll do the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live. We'll recap All Out for you guys. And we will set up for Monday Night Raw. And we do it all over again. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you all tomorrow night.